So I was cleaning up yesterday around my office and I got to look at all the albums. I don't know why, but I found this photo and I thought I'd sit with you today and talk about it. I turned 54 on December 29 and I've been feeling a little reflective lately. I realized it was taken about 24 years ago, around 2001 or 2002. I was in my early 30s. Look at that girl. In my early 30s, I had already been going through a divorce. I already felt that heavy feeling of life, thinking life was over before it really began. I remember sitting in my room back then thinking, is this it? Am I just going to be alone now? But then this man came along, and this was taken on our very first Valentine's Day together. We were at his place. I remember his kitchen. It was so tiny, very small place, but it felt so full. I don't know if you can see the fruit bowl behind me right there. It was always overflowing with fruits. And there's the fridge behind me, full of photos. His life before me. It felt like home. And then there's that pink bear. I remember looking at it and laughing. I asked him, why do you pick a pink bear? You know, Valentine's Day, we usually think red, right? Because that's what symbolizes Valentine's Day. At least that's what we believe. And he looked at me so sincerely and said, well, there weren't any red bears left. It's Valentine's Day. But I thought, he's cute. It's funny, isn't it? At 30, you think you need grand gestures. But what I really needed was a man who thought a pink bear was cute because he wanted me to have something special. But the moment everything changed for me was when he cooked for me in that tiny kitchen. It was our first real date with no chaperones, no friends, just us. I stood there at that kitchen and watched him like a hawk, like this. I really did this. And I watched him move, how he took charge of the meal. And it just hit me. I remember the thought so vividly in my head. This man can actually take care of a woman. But I have to be honest with you. Sitting here at 54, I remember how scared that girl was in the photo. I felt like a failure because I was starting over in my early 30s. I thought, you know, the second act was going to be a tragedy. But looking back, that reset was the best thing that ever happened to me. Now, if you're in your 50s and you feel like you're behind or starting over, please hear me out. Your time is not broken. It's, how do I say this? It's it's being cleared for something better. After my divorce, I had been carrying everything myself. I was so exhausted. I was in my 30s, and I mean, that's still so young. And in that tiny kitchen, watching him cook, I realized I didn't have to be the strong one anymore. I was safe. I felt so safe. As women, in my culture at least, we are taught to be the nurturers, the ones who make sure everyone is fed, served, and okay. Now, to sit back and let someone else drive or take charge for a change, I felt it felt different. It felt like a luxury I didn't know I was allowed to have. I think in our 50s, we finally stopped feeling guilty for needing that safety. Now I'm 54. We've been through so much, me and my husband, since that photo was taken. Ups and downs, and we've handled it really well together. Now, let's talk about the pink bear again, right here. We live in a world now that is so loud. Everything has to be aesthetic, so expensive to be considered love. But you know what? 24 years later, I don't even remember the cost of everything he's ever bought me. I remember the pink bear because he thought it was cute. I remember the fruit bowl being full. I think as we get older, our love language changes. And it's not about grand gestures anymore. It's about the person who notices the little things. It's about the security of knowing, you know, someone is looking out for the little joys in your day. Now, here's a question. Is there a pink bear in your life right now? Like something small that means everything. I wanted to share this because I know some of you might be feeling like the 30-year-old version of me. Maybe you're divorced. Maybe you're starting over in your 50s and you know, you think the good stuff is behind you. I'm here to tell you it's not. Sometimes Love is just a pink bear and a man cooking in a tiny kitchen. Please don't give up on that idea that someone can take care of you too. You've been strong enough, long enough. Anyway, I just wanted to share that today. It was on my heart.